The picture to my left explains it all. Very simple. Michael Massey is Max Verstappen's dad.
Who's your daddy?
His adopted father. If you're a Formula One fan, a casual Formula One fan, you watch it a few times a year. You watch it when it's in Britain, Silverstone. You watch Spa. You watch Monza a couple of times a year. If you're just a casual fan, if you watch the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, you would have saw the biggest stitch up in professional sport history. Seriously. After that race, I was numb for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I didn't talk. I didn't move my legs. Didn't move my arms. I was just stuck there in my chair. Completely, utter, memorized. I was completely, utter, numb. Numb. Because I've always known that the FIA and the stewards are like politicians. Most of them people who run the FIA, the stewards, they could be in the House of Commons, running the country. I've never saw so much utter crap in my life in professional sport. Never. Michael Massey should be fired.
Yeah!
Michael Massey should be given his marching orders. Michael Massey should be at the job centre collecting his dole money.
Here comes the
Universal
money.
credit. We do not want a guy like that in our sport.
Nope.
Very simple. As for Red Bull, I know there's a lot of casual fans out there. They've just come into Formula One. They don't know nothing about Formula One. I want about these geeks online, the Twitter. These Twitter warriors. They come on Twitter, come on my Twitter feed. They come on other people's Twitter feed who support Lewis Hamilton and support Mercedes, who support Formula One in general. These same people that come out and they say Max is the best, Max is the best, Max won it fair.
Bullshit.
These are the same people, Dutch fans, who know nothing about Formula One. The reason why they follow Formula One is because we all know their football team is in the toilet. I had one geek come on my Twitter feed the other day and he said to me, oh look, the Dutch, we come 7th or 8th in the Olympics. So, they're the ones I'm talking about. These stupid ass geeks. You know nothing about Formula One. They've just suddenly come over to watch Max Verstappen beat Lewis Hamilton. That's all it is. They don't know about the history of Formula One. They don't know about the prestige of Formula One. They know nothing. If you ask them who won 7 world titles, they still wouldn't know. If you asked them who's the greatest driver of all time, they'd say Max Verstappen. That's how inept they are. They know nothing about Formula One and the history of Formula One. They're the geeks what follow this idiot Max Verstappen. But at the end of that race, we knew what was going on. Anyone with a half a brain knew what was going on. Anyone with a half a brain. They didn't want Lewis Hamilton to win his 8th world title. Very simple. And it doesn't matter if you don't like Lewis Hamilton. It doesn't matter if you're a McLaren fan, you like Williams, you like Alfa, whatever. I'm on about as a racing fan in general. You could see the writing on the wall. They done everything this season to stop Lewis Hamilton. It started in my opinion, it started even before Silverstone, but the Silverstone one stands out for me. You got two guys going wheel to wheel. Max leaves the door open. Lewis Hamilton takes advantage, Max closed the door and Max ended up in the wall at Cups. To me, that was a racing incident. I don't care what anybody says. You can come on my Twitter, you can come on my YouTube and you can praise, you can talk to me as much as you want. You can bring out screenshots, you can bring out little links, which I'll delete them anyway. I'm still not going to listen. That was a racing incident. 95% of the Formula One drivers, ex-drivers, who was actually driven a Formula One car, they all said the same thing. That was a racing incident. Very simple. That's when it all started to come into play for me. They gave Lewis Hamilton a penalty, but it didn't stop him. He still won the race. Now, ever since that race in Silverstone, we've had these F1 geeks, like for these stupid Red Bull geeks. And you know what? Most of them, some of them don't even care about Max Verstappen. They just care about someone beating Lewis Hamilton. I don't know what the agenda is. I don't know if it's a black thing. I don't know if it's a jealous thing. I don't know what it is. Maybe because Lewis Hamilton didn't come up the same way as the other drivers. I don't know. They do not like Lewis Hamilton. Fair enough. Still better than Max Verstappen, by the way. But it all started from there. He gets a penalty, and after that, listen, if Lewis Hamilton wouldn't have won that race in Silverstone, these geeks wouldn't have said a word. They would have said, stump. They would have kept their mouth shut and said, yeah, Lewis Hamilton didn't win the race. We don't give a shit anyway. But no, because Lewis Hamilton won that race, and because Max went out because of Max's fault, that was it. The hate began from there. The plan from the FIA and the stewards started to come into play. And then we're gonna go to Monza. Then we've got Monza. Remember Monza? You remember that? When Max Verstappen was using Lewis Hamilton's head as a cheese. Cheese. Hamilton's head was the cheese, and Red Bull's car was the cheese grater. If you watch my previous videos, I've already went over this. To me, Max Verstappen should have been banned. He should have been arrested. He should have been out of Formula One. Very simple. He knew exactly what he was doing. Because you know why? He knew exactly what he was doing. Because he got up out the car and he says, that's what happens when you don't leave a space. Basically, that was payback in his mind, in his tiny little brain from Silverstone. The stewards heard that. What did they do? They give him a stupid 5-second time penalty. 5-second time penalty. They knew the next race that Red Bull was going to take an engine penalty. So they're going to effectively, the 5-second time penalty doesn't mean nothing. No, it was a 5-place grid penalty. It doesn't mean nothing. Because they knew at the end of the day, when Red Bull take that engine penalty, the 5-second grid place effectively doesn't mean anything. And they knew that. And that's when I started to get even more suspicious. So again, he got away with that. There's so many things that Red Bull and Max Verstappen got away with this year. It's just like they've been every single race this season, they've been on the radio talking to Michael Massey and getting decisions overturned mid-race. But the thing about it, Mercedes showed their class all season. They could have went out there, they could have complained to Michael Massey and said, look, why are you overturning all these decisions? But they never. The class. As I see, Red Bull were desperate to win this title. They showed it all season. They played dirty. They couldn't win it fair. So they went out. Oh, listen, I wouldn't be surprised if Red Bull, there was money being exchanged under the table that we don't know of to Michael Massey and the stewards. Because nearly every decision always went against Mercedes. And if Red Bull or Max Verstappen got a penalty, yeah, it really never done anything. It's like Max Verstappen again in Saudi Arabia. When he got a penalty, when he should have got 2 penalties, they gave him a 5-second time penalty, 10-second time penalty. Yeah, but Bottas was 14 seconds behind him. So when he got that 10-second time penalty, Effectively, he still kept second place. So you could see the plan was turning, and everybody saw it. They can't lie. People are not stupid. Go on Twitter. Go on the Twitter feed. People are not stupid. But they thought, you know what, let's give Max a penalty, but really it's not really going to mean anything. When Lewis gets a penalty, it means a lot. Typical in Brazil. Look at Brazil. They done everything they can to stop Lewis Hamilton from winning Brazil. They gave him grid penalties, they gave him time penalties, but he still didn't stop him. You know why they didn't stop? You know why he didn't stop Lewis Hamilton? Because Lewis Hamilton is the GOAT. Very simple. You can hate him as much as you want. You can dog him as much as you want. You can get someone to try and beat him every single week. But what it boils down to, look at his resume. Look at Lewis Hamilton's resume and look at Max Verstappen's resume. What is Max Verstappen's resume? Max Verstappen's resume is a tainted world champion. He ain't no true world champion. Not at all. He's got that title, but it don't belong to him. I don't care. He can come out as much as you want. He can go into the news. He can talk to F1. He can talk to Sky. It doesn't matter. He could come out and say, I don't care. I'm a true world champion. It doesn't matter. What it boils down to, when he goes to bed at night, he knows he does not deserve that title. He's a one-trick pony, paper champion. Lewis Hamilton is the true champion. And anybody who knows about Formula 1, or even if you're a casual viewer, you know that Lewis Hamilton is the world champion. Very simple. Look what they had to do to try and stop Hamilton. They cheated. All of a sudden at the end of the race, look what happened. Safety cars. There was about 9 cars in between them. And what did they do? They said, right, only 4 cars. There was 4 cars in between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. Michael Massey came out on the radio and what did he say? No cars are going to overtake. You're going to stay where you are. What happened? As soon as Red Bull comes on the radio, Michael Massey changes his mind and says, you know what? 4 cars, you carry on. The other cars got to stay behind. So all them lap cars couldn't lap only the 4 cars in between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. They're the only 4 cars that could pass. The other cars at the back had to stay where they were. You heard Carlos Sainz coming out on the radio. Carlos Sainz saying, what the hell's going on? I'm not going to get involved in that. That's just giving advantage to Max Verstappen. And then you even had Ricciardo coming out and saying, oh, that's bullshit. I don't want to get involved in that. That's bullshit. The drivers knew what went on. Ex-drivers, commentators, they all knew what went on. Listen, I'm not a big fan of Crafty. Never have. But he come out and he defended Lewis Hamilton. He said that Lewis Hamilton got robbed. Johnny Herbert come out and said Lewis Hamilton got robbed. Damon Hill come out and said Lewis Hamilton got robbed. Ex-drivers, Juan Montoya come out and said Lewis Hamilton got robbed. At the end of the day, Max Verstappen is a paper champion. He'll never be a world champion. He never won that title. That title was given to him by his stepdad, Michael Massey. Very simple. All it was a F1 Abu Dhabi sham. That's all it was. How can you come out and say there's no cars are allowed to pass? You had about 10, 11 cars behind them. And they said no cars are allowed to pass. And then soon as Red Bull leaned up Massey, he goes, you know what? Give me 1 second. As I see Christian Horner saying to Massey, come on, we've got 1 lap left. Come on, we still got 1 lap left. And then the guys coming out, and then Massey coming out and saying no cars are allowed to pass. There was about 11 cars behind Lewis Hamilton. Because the rules are with a safety car, when you got 1 lap left, and you've still got back markers, them cars are supposed to pass. They were 4 lap, and if they would have done that, the race would have finished behind the safety car. And Red Bull knew this. So what Red Bull did, they said, you know what? Come on, we've got 1 lap to go. Michael Massey says, no, we can't. Hold on, give us a minute. And then 30 seconds later, he goes, all right, and the 4 cars in between Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, you guys can go, but the others are going to stay behind. So that effectively left Max Verstappen behind Lewis Hamilton, right behind him with fresh tyre on. And it was a last sprint to the end. And this is after the 4 cars still didn't do a 4 lap to catch up the safety car. So basically, Michael Massey broke his own rules. Broke his own rules. And that's not the first time. That's not the first time. But he did it anyway. Just because he wanted that photo finish, that cinematic finish. It's not the fucking cinema. It's fucking Formula 1. Formula 1. You are a fucking disgrace to your badge. Get off my TV. Get away from Formula 1. You are poison. Poison. We do not want you here. 1, you're a fucking jerk. 2, Max Verstappen is not a world champion. No. 3, Lewis Hamilton is an 8-time world champion in my eyes. He was robbed. All season, robbed. You tried to keep him down, he came back. You tried to beat him at Brazil, he came back. Hamilton had the best start, and he came back. At the beginning of the Abu Dhabi race, Hamilton was 2nd place, beat Max Verstappen. He was 11 seconds ahead. He had to get his own teammates to try and slow Hamilton down, and it didn't work. He tried everything. Christian Horner came out on the radio, started crying, a river of tears, saying, you know what? It's going to take a miracle for this to happen. It's going to take a miracle for us to win this race. All of a sudden, fucking geek Latifi crashes his car. Crashes his car out of nowhere. Very suspect. And all of a sudden, he comes out and says, safety car, safety car. The safety car comes out, and the rest is history. You saw it, I saw it, we all know what happened. And that's what it took for them to beat Lewis Hamilton. That's what it took. So in my eyes, he'll never be a world champion. He's tainted. His victory, it'll always go down as a tainted victory. He didn't win it. He fucking stole it. He stole that championship. Simple. And I don't care if you agree with me or not. Most people do. Hashtag Racers One. Hashtag Lewis Hamilton World Champion. Hashtag I stand with Lewis Hamilton. Because this was a complete and utter garbage. Complete, utter garbage. It was fixed from day one. This is why they brought in these 3-day weekends. When you had, the first one was at Silverstone, and then we had one at Imola, now we had one at Monza, and then we had another one at Brazil. All that was to try and fuck up Mercedes, but it still didn't work. Because at the end of the day, the reason why Mercedes will win next year and will continue to win, because they have got the best engineers. The best engineers. And everybody's saying, oh, I can't wait to see Max versus Lewis next season. Who the fucking hell thinks that Max Verstappen is going to be next to Lewis Hamilton next season? Do you understand that Honda's not there anymore? You understand that? It's going to be Ferrari, he's going to be up there with Mercedes, it's going to be Ferrari, McLaren. Who says that Red Bull's going to be fighting for the title next year? In my eyes, I don't think they are. They know that Honda's gone. They know they've got to start again. They're going to start probably middle table, probably fighting for 3rd or 4th place. This is why they've done everything in their power to win this championship. They failed at that because Mercedes is an 8-time World Constructors Champion. And in my eyes, they failed at winning the singles as well. Because Max Verstappen is no champion. They had the gala fucking celebration. Hamilton didn't want to go. Good for him. Did Toto go? No. Good for him. Why would they want to go there? People are going to go, oh yeah, he's going to get a penalty. I don't give a shit if he gets a penalty. He made the best move not going to that gala celebration with all them fucking geeks. Who hate him anyway, because they're jealous. 1, he's black, and 2, they know he's great. Very simple. Let's face it here. Let's cut the fucking chase, okay? They hate him because he's black. If Lewis Hamilton was white, they would love him more. It's because he's black. If he was one of them rich white boys come from born with a silver spoon in his mouth, they would all love him. It's because he's black, he come from a normal background, and he worked his way up. They hate him. That's the reason why they hate him. If he was some Jensen button, they'd all jump on his coattails and go, you know what? I love this guy, man. British. But you know what? Half of the people that hate him are from Britain. Ask yourself that question. Go and ask the Dutch geeks if they'll turn on Max Verstappen, no. But the British fans will turn on Lewis because they look at Lewis, and even though he was born in England and he was bred in England and he trained in England, they'll look at him and say, you know what? He ain't a British man at all. He's just a black man. We don't want him here. They talk about all these stupid, well, when he went to Monaco. Hamilton went to Monaco. What did you in the papers? Oh, he ain't no Brit. Look at him. He doesn't pay taxes in Britain. He lives in fucking Monaco. But if you do your fucking research, you dumb idiots. He's got a house in London as well, and he's got a house in America. Look at when Lando Norris got to Monaco. Nothing said. Jensen Button lives in America. Nothing said. Because Lewis Hamilton goes to live in Monaco, the shit comes down on him. Why? Because he's black. Very simple. I don't care what you say, and I don't care if you agree with me. It's the truth. Let's face it. They're never going to change. But Lewis, he'll continue to rise above it because when next year's come, he's coming. He's coming. I just heard news on Twitter that he come out and said, we're ready for next year. Mercedes is already firing up next year's car. Firing up already. Mercedes always do it in February, early February, but they're firing up the car already. That's warning shots to Red Bull. Whoever wants to challenge Mercedes, that's the warning shot. You remember what Toto Wolff said at the beginning of the season? We've sacrificed the 2021 season for 2022 because it's important when the F1 2022 season starts that because it's new regulations, you don't want to be on the back foot. Mercedes have had their car prime, ready to go for the past couple of years. And you think they're not going to be ready next year? You think they sacrificed all that speed, that the lack of speed what they had at the beginning of the season for 2022? That's what they've done. It's only because of the smart engineers, why they got the speed towards the end of the season, because they tweaked it. But that 2022 car is going to be ready for next season, and they've been waiting and waiting for this time. And when the season starts, you're going to see Wagwan. You're going to see what's going on. And you're going to realise what Toto was talking about. Utter disgrace. Lewis Hamilton, for me, he's world champion. World champion. Lewis Hamilton, world champion. And I'll leave that image up there with Max Verstappen's car on Lewis Hamilton's head. He should have been race banned for that, and he got away with it. People forget about that. They always talk about Silverstone. Oh, Silverstone. Fuck Silverstone. Silverstone was a racing incident. You look at that, that ain't no racing incident. Not at all. And that's how I look at it, man. I'm not going to get into the positions who come first or last. It doesn't matter. Look, it's been 2 weeks. I didn't want to do the video straight after the Grand Prix because at the end of the day, I couldn't upload no videos to YouTube. I wanted to give it 2 weeks time, let the dust settle, and see how it goes from there. As I see, Lewis Hamilton, to me, and for the majority of the F1 community, and for me, and the majority of fans on the internet, they know Lewis Hamilton was robbed. Even guys that don't even like him. I've saw people on Twitter, the people that don't even like him, said that Lewis Hamilton got robbed. Because that's what it took to beat Lewis Hamilton. Is to rob him, change the rules on the fly. What a disgrace. And by the way, the next time they come out and say we stand as one, you know what? And you know what? This I stand as one. That's another thing what makes me laugh. You don't stand as one. You do not stand as one. You stand as one against Lewis Hamilton. You can plug all your commentators all you want. You could come out and say, you know what, we stand as one, we stand together. No. It proved that Abu Dhabi, you do not stand as one. You stand against Lewis Hamilton and for him not to win his 8th world title. You had Bernie Ecclestone. You know what? Bernie Ecclestone, I don't even like the dude, but at least he's got the balls to come out and say, I'm glad that Lewis Hamilton didn't win it. At least he's got the balls to come out and say, I'm glad Lewis Hamilton didn't break Schumacher's record. At least he's honest to come out and say. And the thing that makes me laugh, his wife just got landed a job with the FIA and Bernie Ecclestone. So that's going to be great for Mercedes next year. That's another thing that Lewis Hamilton has to overcome, which he probably will anyway. But at least he had the balls to come out and say it. You got a lot of ex-drivers. Some of them come out. Look, to be fair, some of the ex-drivers, Juan Montoya, he's always coming out and respecting Lewis Hamilton. He said that Lewis Hamilton got robbed. Respect him for that. One of my favourite drivers, he's Juan Montoya. He was so fast back in the day in that BMW Williams. The driver to come out, I know, look, he's a Mercedes driver. People are just going to say, oh yeah, it's because he's a Mercedes driver. He come out and said it straight away. It was utter shambles. That was a complete mess. He said Lewis Hamilton got ripped off. That was George Russell. He come out and he said it on he texted it on his phone, put it on Twitter. He said that was a travesty. He got robbed. What went wrong? He was a first driver. Most of the other drivers didn't say anything, but people are going to say, oh yeah, he's going to Mercedes, but I don't think so. I think George Russell would have said it anyway. He just come out and said it because he knows what happened. Everybody knows what happened. Even Alonso said it as well. That was a complete mess. Lewis Hamilton, he got ripped off. Alonso, this is Alonso jumping to Lewis Hamilton's defense. Who would have ever thought that Alonso would jump to Lewis Hamilton's defense? But he did. So that's it, man. Now there's nothing left to say. This is the end of the 2021 season. It ended in a shambles. The season is ruined. The season is ruined. It was a good. Listen, to be fair, it weren't the best season, but it was quite exciting. Them going wheel to wheel, but the stewards and the FIA ruined it. And it's funny how John Tosh, whatever his name is, conveniently retiring. This is the guy who was under Schumacher, the Schumacher reign, him and Ross Brawn. All of a sudden now he's retiring. Doesn't want to get his hands dirty. And I've brought someone else to replace him. Some Arab dude that I know nothing about. The jury's still out on him for me. I'm not going to make no comments on the new FIA guy. I don't know him. I don't know nothing about him. But as I see, it's all politics anyway. But anyway, this is Solo P1 signing out. Thank you guys for this season, for supporting me. And them likes. I'm sorry guys, I couldn't do it 2 weeks ago. Like I said, I couldn't upload a video because I've had some idiot trying to take my channel down, and I had to sort that out. It took 2 weeks to sort out. Now I'm back, and yeah, what a season it was. But at the end of the day, he got ruined at the end. And like I said, his title, World Championship, Max Verstappen, he'll never, ever, ever be a true world champion, because this 2021 season will always be tainted. Always be tainted after what happened at the end. And basically through the season, since Silverstone, but the last couple of races of the season, the Brazil, Saudi Arabia and Abu Dhabi was a complete and utter shambles for Formula One and for the stewards. They knew exactly what they was doing. They did not want Lewis Hamilton to win this title. But now what they've done, they've made Max Verstappen look even worse, because he doesn't look like a champion. He's a paper champion. So this is enough for me. I'm going to head off. I've already been going now for 30 minutes. Follow me on Twitch. The link's going to be in the description below. Follow me on Twitch. Follow me on YouTube. And yeah, this is my socials. Follow me on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter. Fancy a chat about Formula One? You know what? Come on my channel and come on Twitter and tweet. I'm always there if you want to tweet about Formula One. It's only less than 2 months now to the winter season starts, so it's not going to be long now. It's just about 60 days, just under 60 days now to winter season starts, and I will be doing reviews on the winter testing. So this is Solo P1 2021. I hope all you guys have a good happy Christmas and happy New Year. I will be doing a video probably next week. I'm going to be doing a video every week now if I can, because there's no F1 season, but I'm still gonna make content on my YouTube channel for you guys. And yeah, I love you guys. Thank you for the follows on my Twitch. Thank you for the subs. Hit the like button. Let's try and get this channel to 1,000. But yeah, that's it, man. That's all I got to say, really. Thanks for all the support. See you later, guys. Solo P1 signing out. Have a good Christmas. Thank you, guys. Bye.
And Verstappen 27.6 in traffic, gap out at 12.0. So we have a double yellow, exit turn 4, turn 14, so turn 14, yellow, entering it now, stay left, staying out, safety car, keep the delta positive.
Shit, man.
So strap mode 1, strap mode 1,
box.
negative.
That's unbelievable. What's the situation behind me?
So, situation is, Verstappen has pitted, he had a free pit stop, we would have lost track position to him. 4 laps remaining when you cross the line, so this field has to bunch, and then they have to send lap cars through, so it may not restart.
Oh, fuck. Is he right behind me?
He will be, once they've sorted out all the order. This is going to take a while to sort out.
With new tyres.
Copy Lewis, we would have lost track position if we had pitted.
Safety car's going way too slow.
Yeah, just stay off the debris, so stay left.
Safety car needs to pick up pace.
Copy. So the field has yet to bunch.
So you need to tell the safety car to speed up. He's not flat out down this straight.
Copy, Lewis.
The safety car's not going full gas down the straight.
Copy, Lewis. Understood.
How many cars are behind me and in between us?
So stay hard left. 5 cars between you. The field still hasn't bunched.
How many laps left?
There'll be 3 when you cross the line. So lapped cars are now allowed to overtake, so no weaving, stay on line. Oh, they're not going to overtake actually. They're not going to allow the cars to overtake. So we believe they may restart the race like this. And just be mindful that there's still that extinguishing down exit turn 14.
There's still lower debris down there.
Christian and Michael.
Yes, go ahead, Christian.
Yeah, why aren't we getting these lap cars out of the way?
Just give me, well, because Christian, just give me a second. Okay, my big one is to get this incident clear.
You only need 1 racing lap.
Okay, so the Williams is on a crane that's being moved out of the way now, but still stay hard left through 14.
These back markers should get out of the way. They should unlock themselves.
Yep, they will once that message comes through. Okay, so stay on line, Max. Those lap cars are now being allowed to overtake. Stay on line, let them go off the racing line. Sorry, cancel that. Lap cars will not be allowed to overtake.
Yeah, of course. Typical decision.
It's classic.
I'm not surprised.
Keep working the tyres on. Plenty braking. Okay, I think all the cars ahead of you are going to pass Hamilton. Everybody behind you will stay in position. Yeah, so everybody up to Vettel are allowed to overtake Hamilton. Safety car is in this lap, Matt.
Go ahead, Toto.
You need to reinstate the lap before. That's not right.
Toto?
Yes.
It's called a motor race, okay?
Sorry?
We went to car racing.
This has been manipulated, man.